Hey, everybody. Welcome to the PathMonk Presents podcast. Today, we've got Charlotte from Team Tailor. We're really looking forward to having you on the show. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Looking forward to chatting. So before we get started, a quick introduction. PathMonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding PathMonk to your website in seconds, letting the AI do all the work, increasing your conversions by 50% while you do all the marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. So, Charlotte, thanks for joining the show today. Again, how are you feeling?
I'm really good. A little nervous as it's my first podcast. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Welcome to the show. So, everyone, Charlotte is from Team Tailor. I want to give her the opportunity to speak a little bit about the company. So, Charlotte, in your own words, why don't you tell us a little bit about Team Tailor?
Well, honestly, when I think about Team Tailor, the first word that comes to my mind is caring. Team Tailor is about caring for companies, for recruiters, for candidates, for people, basically. We are an all-in-one recruitment software, an ATS. For those who are not familiar with the term, it's an applicant tracking system, but also a really simple career website builder. If I have to think of some words that would say simple is also a good word to describe it, because that's our main goal, to make it easy for everyone to use. And pink, of course. If you see our logo, you'll understand. Our motto is paint the world pink.
I like that very much. It matches your website. I love the design of the website, by the way.
Thank
So it sounds like you guys could have quite a few different clients, whether it be people that are looking for a job or maybe hiring as well, both sides. But maybe you can tell me a little bit more, like, who are your clients? What sort of industries or verticals do you guys focus on? Do you have any focus areas? Why don't you tell me all about that?
Of course. Well, our clients are going to be recruiters. So the thing is, we work with all types of company, all sizes. So it's always tough for us marketers to actually do a persona. We can't. But basically, if they are recruiting, there's a need. So of course, if you have a high volume of job to fill or a lot of applications, then you are going to need an ATS even more. And for the problems we solve, we actually solve a couple for recruiters. When you recruit, there are a lot of time-consuming tasks that can be avoided with some automation or AI, as you know well. The thing I think we're the proudest to offer is more time for recruiters to actually focus on what matters, which is spending time with the candidates.
I think that's really important. Yeah. Time is kind of one of those valuable things that, everyone says time is money and time is valuable, but no one necessarily takes the time to think about it too much. So I think keeping that in terms of one of your core values is really good. So I want to continue talking about the business, but more so from the marketing perspective about what you guys are doing for Team Tailor. So maybe you can tell me, where do you acquire any of your clients? What sort of channels are you currently looking into? What are your growth strategies at the moment?
Well, I can speak for France, but a lot of things are similar in different countries. But for us, well, of course, the website is going to have a big role, but we also work a lot with partnerships, because when you're a software, often you're integrated with many other companies. So partnerships are going to be something really important for us. And from a marketing point of view, then we also work with an ambassador that has his own podcast that we sponsor, and is a really well-known recruiter in France, Leo, if you hear us. So we got a lot of traction because when we first got to the French market, it was it's tough to gain awareness. So being able to rely on someone, I think a lot of companies are turning to that, and that's something we've been doing, and that's working really well. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about the events that are really important to us. We do a lot of them in France, especially, whether it's fairs, some events we sponsor, and our own. So the first one we developed, and the most important one to this day, is called the Pink Hour, surprisingly. It's an after work in Paris 3 times a year, where we gather recruiters to talk about the one subject. Well, spoiler alert, the next one is going to be on AI in November. So looking forward to it. And to not only do events in Paris, we started doing the Pink Hour on tour this year, more like a breakfast, but going to main cities in France to meet recruiters, because not all companies are based in Paris, and we feel it's good to get out of the city every once in a while.
Yeah, Pink Hair hits the road. I like to hear. So you had mentioned your website a little bit back, and I kind of want to focus on that a little bit in terms of the client acquisition. So as it pertains specifically to the French division of the company, maybe you can tell me, like, what role does the website play in client acquisition? How does it help with any of your marketing strategies? Maybe you can tell me about that.
Of course, yeah, it's one of our biggest tools that we use for sure. I feel like, well, you mentioned like the way the website is made and the colors, and I feel like it offers a good vision of our value proposition. I like that it's so visual that people don't have to search for hours to understand what we're doing, which is sometimes an issue in startups or tech companies. But I think also, like, any website is an ongoing project. So currently we're working on the SEO aspect, trying to enhance our content hub. We call our content hub when we have, we have our podcasts, we have our articles, we have our ebooks, testimonials, and we have so much valuable material that we need to highlight it better, we feel.
Okay. And staying on the topic of the website, oftentimes when we have different marketers on the show, we talk about what sort of metrics we should be looking at, whether it be on the website or in terms of your marketing metrics that you're measuring on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So maybe shifting over to just your thoughts on growth in general, what sort of metrics do you think marketers should be focusing? What sort of metrics are you guys focusing on? Or just throughout your career, what sort of metrics do you think are most important?
The metrics. Yeah, we've been following quite some of them. I think, the thing is that I think it's not going to be any news for most marketers, but of course we are going to track the visit, the conversions. We do have a lot of call to action, like reserve your demo, a bit of everywhere. So that, because you don't have a direct subscription to the website, to the company. So we're not going to be able to track that. But seeing how much time people spend also on the pages, especially the articles. We do have the CTA at the end, but getting to see if our content is really read.
So it sounds like you're measuring more so how much do people engage with the website rather than are the digital marketing strategies that you guys are putting out there, like the SEO or the PPC, like we're going to see how many SQLs or MQLs are coming in, how many overall leads, how much traffic is coming in. It sounds like the things you're really focusing on are how much time are people spending there? Are they really engaging? What sort of resources are they utilizing on a regular basis? Is that right?
Absolutely. Because, of course we're going to track leads, but I feel like the one thing we have in common, in France, in all markets, and in our spirit at Team Tailor, is we want to offer people something valuable in a way that whether it's our events, whether it's our articles, that you gain something out of it. Like, we know people take time out of their day, whether it's to read or to participate in something. And we never want them to leave with staying like, I shouldn't have read that. I lost some time. I shouldn't have come. So it's one of our main things. Like, we want people to have learnings, to gain something from what we offer.
But always something to lead with to remember you guys by. Now, moving on to the next question, I want to talk a little bit about the kind of the tools that you utilize on a regular basis. So I want to ask, when it comes to your role marketing for the French part of Team Tailor, are there any tools, are there any methods, are there any sort of strategies that you're utilizing on a regular basis when it comes to growth for the website?
Well, there are some of them, yes, for sure. The one tool that I love above all, I think, is Hotjar. I don't know. I don't know if you're familiar. If you are not listening,
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
yeah, Hotjar. Yeah, it offers heat maps and behavior analytics tools for the websites, and I think that's the tool I've been the most amazed with in the past few years. Because when you work on a website, I mean, I'm no UX designer. If you don't have a UX designer, you should have one for sure. But I mean, you wanna convert. We talked about gaining attention, engaging, and how do you get people to engage? So being able to see the behavior people are having on your website. The thing is, I feel like as marketers, we are always on our product. Like we know it from head to toe. And sometimes we don't have the necessary distance to look at it from a stranger's perspective. And so you're going to think that your funnel is really easy to understand, that people can just go through the steps really easily. But with Hotjar, sorry, you realize that, oh, well, no, actually, like people are dropping off at this point. So what's happening?
Yeah,
why is that happening?
Stuck, or they're hitting some sort of a barrier, or they're not finding the right type of information, so they end up spending a little bit more time in certain areas.
Absolutely. And since we said like we want to make the tool easy, well, that's how we do it as well, because you need to see how people are engaging with the website to really understand. For you, it's going to seem really natural, really logical. Well, it's not.
Yeah, I've seen something in the past where all the members of the same team, they look at the same website all the time, right? And they all have the same idea. Oh, this should be easy. This should be easy. This should be easy. But when you have kind of like this third-party perspective, you can understand something where, what's the word? Kind of like tunnel vision, right? Everyone has been seeing the same thing for so long. You need to go outside that with a third-party perspective in order to understand what sort of things are blocking people on the website.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that, because I think that's one of the first thing I always do when I arrive in a new company, do an audit or need some perspective, is I'm going to ask a new hire or someone out of the organization to have a look at the website, to see what they understand, what they don't, what they find disturbing, and also like do the whole process, just go over and every page. And then you have some good pointers to where to start.
Yeah, someone fresh who hasn't gone through the website before, it's the best possibility. It's a perfect example. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about you as a leader a little bit. So when you're leading your marketing team at Team Tailor, what are some of the key tasks that you're really focused on from a day-to-day perspective? Are there any reports that you're utilizing? Are you speaking with the team more often? You know, what are those daily tasks that are most important to you?
Of course. Well, in France, I am a one-person team for marketing, and we have marketing managers for different countries. So I work hand in hand with my peers, basically talking every day, thanks Slack. So that's good, because you gain some perspective from other markets and from other marketers. And I feel like we grow so much from learning from one to the other. So I wouldn't say I have one typical day. Right now, for instance, I'm very focused on event management, as we organized or participated in 8 events in September in France.
Whoa.
But yeah, it was intense. I'm glad to see the end of month, but at the same time, we love it. So other than that, I say I'm always in contact with the sales team, making sure that they have all the content they need for their prospection, and that we're always aligned in our goals. We're using Salesforce, a lot of companies. So I'm having fun with my data, with dashboards, so I can actually show them like, okay, so we did this event, that's how many opportunities we created, where they are at, how can we help the salesperson to go further, to close the deal. So we're always going to have an eye on all of that. Also, while creating content, whether it's articles, testimonials, talking to the customers, and ebooks, learn a lot. Well, managing the social networks, of course, the email communication, such as our newsletter, TailorMade. And well, when I'm not being operational, I'm definitely strategizing. So well, I mean, we're at the end of September, so of course I'm already thinking about next year, finishing up the budget and everything we are going to do. And well, I think the one tool I use every day besides Salesforce is going to be Notion.
That's good. You mentioned Slack, utilizing that, Salesforce, Notion. Yeah, these are definitely some ones that I think a lot of our listeners are going to be familiar with for sure.
Definitely.
So I want to move into some more rapid fire, quick questions. So what we're looking for are just kind of like short, crisp answers. Are you ready?
Yeah, that's good.
Rapid fire. Okay, so number one, what's the last book you read?
The last book I read, it was a French author. The name of the book was Men Like Courage, and I thought it was brilliant.
What is one thing that your company is focused on at the moment most?
Data. For sure.
Good answer. If there were no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing that you would want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
The perfect attribution. But well, I think we would need to be inside people's mind, and that would be a problem at some point.
Yeah, at some point. But I don't think we're too far away from it.
Yeah.
If there was one repetitive task that you could automate, what would it be?
I think it would be following up with people, because when you work with different departments, there is a lot of information passing through that you need to keep up with, and having to tell people the same thing over and over, that can be a little tiring.
Of course, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, it's been 2 days. I forgot to get back to you.
We all know the struggle.
Yeah, we all know. Okay, next one. What is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Don't hesitate to speak up for what you know is fair. I feel like it's something we learn along the way as we gain more confidence. But when you're young and inexperienced, sometimes it can be tough to actually speak up for yourself. And,
I know. Yeah, starting new jobs earlier in your career, it's kind of difficult to find the courage to speak up and let it out. Yeah, I understand. I've been there as well. Okay.
I feel like the Gen Z is doing better though.
I would probably agree. I would agree. Okay, the last word. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you very much, Charlotte, for joining us today. I really enjoyed having you on the show, and I think everyone should go check out Team Tailor. But for the last word, I wanted to give you the last word and say, if someone forgets everything about the interview that they just watched, what is the one thing that they should remember about your company?
What's the one thing? I'd say, well, the first thing I said, caring. If you want a company that cares for other people, you should check out Team Tailor.
Excellent. Thanks for joining the show today, Charlotte. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Thanks. See you. Bye.
Thank you.